Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to FPL Don't Panic. That is about the 150th time I have said that this morning. Yeah, technology and me just do not get on. A bit like my FPL team at the moment. Just noting a little bit of redlining there. I've gone right back to basics. I did actually thought I had it sorted, and I posted a video a little earlier today and flicked it on actually on the TV. I thought, oh, that sounds alright, the delay is gone. Fantastic. Turned it off, headed out in the car, was going to listening to the full playback in the car, and I was like hissing right across the video. Happily, only about I think 8 or 9 people viewed it, so if you're tuning into this one again, it's pretty much a repeat, just one little bit of additional information in terms of an option for the triple game week, sorry, the double game week, the Liverpool triple up, and maybe the one I go for actually, we'll see. It's Kanate, just so you don't have to watch through the whole thing again. It's Kanate, Konza for Kanate, which I think is actually not a bad option considering the options I've got to play with. Right, for the rest of you that haven't seen it already, let's get into it. Let's start with where we're at on the game week so far, which is not very good. Let's be quite frank about it. 43 points, Palmer to come. I'm not going to run through the whole team again. We'll just focus on the games last night, which really was a story of what might have been, but wasn't. It's I say it nearly every week. It's a game of what ifs, and it really is a matter of what isn't at the moment. There was a point in I was following it on FPL Hub, just there, the live ranks, where I actually was on a 100k rank rise, which would have been an absolute miracle. I didn't really believe that was going to happen, but just so you can sort of get the picture of what a frustrating night it was at 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning here in New Zealand, where at the moment I thought, oh yay, and, the Mikalenko goal flashed up, oh, fantastic. Pickford, I think, had just come into a clean sheet. Something else was going on. But yeah, it was 80 something K rank rise, which would have been an absolute bloody miracle. And then within a minute, Mikalenko's goal went, Milenkovic's goal went, and Pickford's clean sheet went, and then Milenkovic had already lost his clean sheet at that stage, so it was absolutely delighted to see that he was, as I thought, that he got a goal for me, to see that wiped out. Still don't regret bringing Milenkovic in, and he's a long-term play. He'll come in and out of the team over the coming game weeks, and he's got a good fixture in game week 29 with a blank start. I always want to make sure I get a full team out for that blank game week 29. Now, anything else I don't know really to talk about the team there? Obviously just Palmer to come, and frankly I hope he's rested, because I've obviously got Watkins there on the bench waiting to come in. And with a nice little late pointer, which, although that won't save the game week, it will certainly make it a light red arrow. It might push me in towards green. It's actually really tight, really tight. There's plenty of people sitting around 49 points at the moment who are on not massive greens, but that are on green. So you never know. Miracle may happen, but I think anything from Palmer will basically hurt me. Yeah, because although a lot took their captaincy off Palmer and onto Salah with that yellow flag, there's certainly a lot have kept it on him, and they will do very well indeed if he gets a couple of goals for them. The other one from last night was obviously Wood, actually, and yeah, very pleased with that. It's been a really good buy for me. Question does become, is he going to be the one that goes out as I look to triple up on Liverpool? Let's have a chat about that. We'll go to the bus team for 23 as it stands. So any Liverpool. All right, I'm not going to have that tonight, Jimmy. Sorry, buddy. That's been one of the distractions. We're going to have to go for a little swim, my fella. Okay, just so you can get to meet Timmy the Turtle. And this is Timmy the Turtle, and he's a noisy bugger. You're one of the reasons I got that bloody mic and caused all these problems. Yes, you. Say hello. Right. Who should I bring in for the double game week? Are you serious? McAllister? You know nothing. knows nothing about football. I mean, what sort of stats has McAllister got? Actually, I have been looking at it. I'm tempted by McAllister, I'll tell you why. Okay, let's talk about this set. Yeah, Pickford, let's run through. As I'm going through this bus team, I'll talk about some of these Liverpool triple up options. Triple up options. I do want to bring in that player this week. I want to do it in one move. I don't want to take any hits. I want to try and take advantage of the Ipswich fixture. There are 4 really good fixtures in a row. There's obviously the Ipswich fixture, there's the double game week, and I can't remember who they've got on the other side of it off the top of my head. It's a good fixture. Take my word for it. So, getting that Liverpool asset in early has a lot of advantages. If it's one that I think I can get some upside with that Ipswich fixture, because I will not have a triple captain to play for the double game week, and I will not be using the assistant manager's chip. And a lot of people will be doing that. Either some that have the triple captain left will be using that, and certainly some that have their assistant manager's chip will be going for that as well. And I don't blame them. It's a good time to play it. I'm definitely saving mine at this point till the end of the season. I think the chances of this being a double game week in 24 and 25 are actually quite low. I've been looking into it, fairly minimal I think, and I'm not prepared to risk my strategy through that and then that roll up to 29 and rolling transfers to ensure I have a full team out on 29 based on a very, very vague possibility that there might be a double game week. So options, right, I've got Pickford in goal for 23. Everton have forgotten to keep out clean sheets. I did have a little temptation, would I bring Alisson in for the double game week, but then of course I'm bringing in a double game week player for a double game week player. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. The upside would be very, very small, and total waste of the transfer and the opportunity to get some extra points. Hall currently would be in the team for 23. Southampton, shocking result for Newcastle at the weekend. But this is what football does to you. Sometimes you just don't see these things coming. And Hall did still return for me. So since I brought him in, since I started playing him, because he'd been on my bench way too often, he's returned in the last 2 games. So obviously very happy with that. And Trent was a saviour, obviously, with his 11-pointer. Ipswich home, got him for the double game week, and the next 4. Looks like the threat that he maybe had been rotated has certainly decreased, if not gone away completely. But Trent has that haul potential, and sometimes when he starts hauling week after week after week. He did it for me last year, and although there weren't hauls at the beginning of this season, I was getting a return out of him pretty much every week at the beginning of the season. And as I said at the beginning of the season, a few times since, he will most likely be the highest scoring defender in FPL this season. We'll see. I'll get my medal for correctly predicting that one right at the end of the season, and give myself a pat on the back. Gabriel. Now, Gabriel could be one to go. Now, I've got a couple of options here. And the big question becomes, and I have said it week after week for what seems like 5 or 6 weeks. It has been exactly 5 or 6 weeks. Arsenal's defence will return to form and Gabriel will start getting some goals. And it is just not happening. And the chances of that happening are probably decreased if I'm not sure how long Saliba is out for. But they looked a little bit shambolic at the back there in that when they should have been hanging on to that 2-goal lead and defending in an Arsenal-like way and protecting their lead. And it's just not the Arsenal defence that we've come to know and expect, and hasn't been for a while. Their XG is below 1, but they keep conceding that 1, and now they're conceding 2. So I've obviously lost that the extra point off of Gabriel as well, and every point at the moment is literally thousands of places. Thing is, the fixtures coming up are very, very good. He may be benched for a few over the coming weeks, but I can see a point where I will want him back. So I don't think I will go this direction, but I could go directly from Gabriel to Virgil van Dijk, and I can always go back to Gabriel after that. And I've got a little bit of money, but it's not too bad tied up in Gabriel. I think I could afford to lose it and still bring him back fairly easily. But again, it could be a waste of a transfer when I know I'll ultimately want him. And is Virgil van Dijk the right person to bring in? What's the pros for Virgil van Dijk obviously is he is a nailed-in starter, and that's what we do want for the double game week, and ideally for the next 4 fixtures. It's a reasonable possibility that I may do that. Let's put that, say, maybe at about 20 to 30%. The other player that I could bring in defence, and I could do this one of 2 ways. I could do it via Gabriel, or I could go from Konza, who's currently on my bench. I could go to Konate. I could go from Gabriel to Konate, or I could go from Konza to Konate. Not really much of a goal threat at all from Konate. I think he did get one very, very early in the season, didn't he? But it would just be for the clean sheets. So reasonable chance, I think, of maybe 2 out of 4 clean sheets. There may be more. Liverpool's defence is good. Hopefully they're getting back to their best. Certainly one would hope they'd keep one against Ipswich. You'd think with that Everton attack, although I know Everton got a couple of goals, 3 goals yesterday. That was against a very, very poor Spurs team, certainly defensively. Lots of attacking players missing. And they still only barely hung on and still managed to concede 3 goals. So I do think Liverpool could easily keep the clean sheet against, relatively poor. I mean, Calvert-Lewin scored last night, didn't he? I mean, that guy can't hit the back of the barn door from 3 yards. So Konate's, it's an option. It's an easy option. Just go from Konza to Konate, and maybe there's a chance of a few clean sheets in there. Not a very exciting option, but Konate does seem to be reasonably nailed on there as well. Not as nailed on as Virgil. It's a thought. I'd put that one at about maybe 15-20%. Looking at the midfield, well, Salah's obviously not going out for anyone, or Palmer. I don't think Ahmad either. Excuse me, or Gordon. But I do want to get rid of Enzo at some point. This might be the catalyst to start making that happen. Now, hear me out on this. This one is a little bit mad. It would be an amazing differential because I can't imagine anyone has got him. He is a nailed-on starter, and he has returned in 3 of his last 6. And McAllister went through a little period like this last year. It was in a few easier fixtures. He got on this little run where he was actually getting a goal, and I think he got a couple of goals in one match as well. He was getting further forward, and he was making some really good runs from deep into the box. And he hauled a few weeks in a row. Now he's just done 3. He's just returned in 3 out of 6. I could go directly from Enzo to McAllister. Very rarely. I mean, I can't think of any point where I have actually gone with a defensive midfielder as an FPL option, no matter how cheap they were. But those are some good fixtures, and McAllister is a bloody good player. Enzo's doing nothing for me anyways, and it's just a nice easy move. I am giving it a little bit of thought. It feels a little bit mad, but I'm giving it a little bit of thought, because as I say, what we want is nailed-in players with at least a chance of a goal that are going to play all of the fixtures, which we can't say for 100% for my next choice, even though it may be one of the favourites, and that would be to bring in Gakpo. Gakpo is, he's actually in a little bit of form. He's getting some goals. He's played, I think, at least 5, 6, 7 in a row now, plus 60 minutes, up to damn near the 90 minutes. The only issue I have with it is the player I would have to take out to make that happen, which would be Wood, who has returned for me in 3 or 4 in a row now. But Wood's fixtures are turning. Let me say that Wood has returned in difficult fixtures right across the season. He had a little run of a few blanks, but in general he has managed to, like I said, and it was the same against Southampton. I know it was a really good score. I wish I had the captain's armband on him, but it was never a serious consideration. So I don't have a regret like you do with 50-50 decisions, where you think, oh, will I go? It was never like, oh, will I go Salah or will I go Wood? It was never even a conversation piece in my mind, because and technically I was right. Wood will get couple of chances a match, and he'll stick one away. So he got the assist last night, which really bolstered things a little bit. And it was a little bit of a lucky assist, I think. It was a little bit of a deflecty, sort of scuffy sort of thing there. He got the last touch, but sure enough, he got his goal. So that really is the question. I think that is my favourite move, because I can always bring Wood back in after the doubles, etc. And I just hope Gakpo does get the start and outscores Wood by a fair bit. And is he likely to? I think Gakpo's ceiling, particularly given some of the fixtures, probably is higher than Wood. But Wood is going to start all 3 of his matches. How many of the 4 matches will Gakpo start? And if he did only start 3 of them, will he still outscore Wood? And we don't know the answer to that question, do we? But that feels like the most likely move, or it's either that. I've got to take. I think I do have to take out a decent player. I think if I'm going to get my 2 preferred options, one of my 2 preferred options, which would be Virgil or Gakpo. I can't get to Diaz easily without taking out, without doing 2 transfers, and I am on my no hits policy. I'm sticking to it. Yeah, you can see the dilemma here. And Jota, anyways, even if I could get to Diaz, I'm still not sure he's really firing at the moment. He's probably going to haul, isn't he? And the other one that I had thought strongly about a few weeks ago, a week or so ago, was Jota. But even if Jota got half a dozen goals against Ipswich, I don't think I'd bring him in. I really don't. He's made of glass, and I suspect his minutes are going to be very, very limited again. Jota we know he can, just come off for 30 minutes and get that goal, but it's just too high risk between the limited minutes and between the injury proneness of the player. Just not going to go there. I don't think it's worth the risk. My gut feel at the moment is between moving Gabriel out for Virgil or Wood for Gakpo. I'd say it's 50-50. I'd say it's 50-50, with a little bit of do I do something crazy like bring in McAllister, but that game feels like a punch that could go badly wrong. Other than that, in the team, as it's looking at the moment, rolling out, I'm really happy to just give Watkins a run now and just seize what happened with the Duran rotation. Like I said in previous videos, Watkins, once he gets going, once he starts getting goals, he'll start scoring. One of the other pundits was actually doing some of their thoughts on players to bring in, and he did a Watkins versus Mateta comparison over the last 5 game weeks, and that is very even. Watkins probably just a little bit ahead of him in terms of I think expected goals. In terms of expected goals over the last 5. So pretty happy just to run with that now, given the Villa fixtures are absolutely amazing for the next few games, and he's certainly going to get good minutes. It's just how good will those minutes be, I think, is the question. And if he is continuing on this vein of scoring, he'll be going nowhere, because that front 3 of mine at the moment, I really don't want to take Wood out. That front 3 is an absolute joy at the moment. We'll see. Listen, I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to make any decisions until after the Champions League matches, so I'll be holding fire with my itchy transfer finger, and just see where things are after the Champions League match. Maybe have a look at some of the rotations that will have happened there, because that might be a good indicator as to what is going to happen at the weekend. For example, if Gakpo is given a little bit of a rest, I actually think that's potentially a good sign, because Liverpool are all but qualified, I think, for the next phase. So I think there will be some rotation for them. So I'll be looking interesting to sort of see, who's getting rest, with a view to this, upcoming schedule of the double game week, and obviously the Premiership fixtures themselves. Who is likely to get rested in those, or is getting a bit of a rest now, so that they're ready for those matches. Interesting little logjam of fixtures and challenges ahead. Let me know what you think. I really hope. I think we're back to a little bit echoey again, but at least hopefully I'm coming through clearly again without any delays. Let's leave it at that. Let's see what happens in the last fixture of the week. Palmer, he deserves a little rest, doesn't he? He deserves a little sleep, so he can, so I can get Watkins off the bench. We'll see. Take care, folks. Have fun. Play your own game. Don't panic. I will be back at after the Champions League matches. I think we'll do a final wash up on how this week went, and look at plans for the next game week. See you soon.